Hello everyone, my name is Elizaveta. Welcome to WelcomeTech channel. Today we will be talking about the EB2 NAW, our latest successful case. I will tell you about the client a little bit. I will tell you about the criteria that we went for, and I will tell you about the premium processing in general, right? And why I think it's not sometimes a very good idea to use a premium processing in your EB2 NAW visa application. So I think it will be useful for everyone who is considering applying for EB2 NAW visa. And yeah, so let's get started. If you are not really familiar with, in general, what is an EB2 visa, how can I get it, and so on, it's a green card that gives you an opportunity to work in the US and later in future get a US passport. And the same goes for your family members. This is sometimes a great opportunity for people who do not have some kind of extra and very great achievements in a special field, because it generally has like lower plank than many other visas. That's why it's so popular right now. So if you're interested to know more about that, I will leave a link on another video down below. I will not be talking about that today. We will be talking about the processings, like, and how to apply for EB2 NAW visa. So in case of our client, he was a STEM professional. So STEM goes for science, technical, engineering, mathematics, and all the professions that are related to that. They generally have a little bit higher chance of getting the EB2 NAW visa than others. But it doesn't mean that other people cannot get this visa, right? But it just means that these people have generally a little bit higher chance. So your EB2 NAW visa application consists of mainly two things. So the first one is criteria, right, and your evidence regarding them. And the second one is endeavor, so-called. So it's basically a document that tells the officer about why do they need to grant you this waiver, right? So usually in EB2 visa, it requires an employer in the US, right? So this document tells about why do they need to remove like this criteria from you? Why do they need to not apply it to you, right? So usually it consists of different like a research of the field you're working at. Maybe there is a certain shortage of this specialist like this, how needed these kind of specialists right now in the US, and so on. So it really depends on the like field of profession of yours, but generally it looks like that. And the second thing, as I said, right, these are criteria. So in case of our client, we went for letters documenting 10 or more years of full-time experience. So that means that client has generally 10 or more years of experience in his field of profession. And we wrote recommendation letters on behalf of like from his last employers that they signed. And we went for this criteria. Then we went for membership in one or more professional associations which require achievement in order to become a member, which is a very interesting thing. And this is usually the criteria that is quite easy to gain. There are a lot of associations like that that accept professionals of different fields. But the most important thing about them is to prove that you do not need to pay money to become a member of this association. So, for example, if I, who do not know anything about like mathematics and stuff, can pay money to become a member of this association, then this won't be qualified as eligible for the visa, right? And if I can't do that, so I need to show kind of like some kind of achievements to become a member, then yes, this can be eligible for the visa. And this is important to show like what other professionals who are quite big in this field are members of the association too, and we need to write about them like this. Yes, of course, we went for official academic record with proof of degree, diploma, certificate, or similar award from an institution or higher education. Our client had a degree, which we show for this criteria. And the fourth one was other comparable evidence of eligibility, if no evidence from the above is available or applicable, something that we went for too. And usually I think 90% of our EB2 and NW cases, they consist this criteria, because usually people have some extra achievements that we can show and just be accepted, and you usually need to show that, because these criteria, they do not include enough that people usually have and their achievements. Even if they think, the USA think that this criteria is not good enough, right, that they do not accept it, but still it's worth trying always, right, and showing some extra achievements. In the case of our clients, we show digitalization of certain companies that he worked at, and it worked in his case. We had this case ready in 8 weeks after starting working with him, and then we started our application process. So there are 2 ways of application for the EB2 and NW visa. So the first one is regular processing that takes about 1.5 to a year usually, and actually this means that you are paying just $700, right? And then your case is being processed. And then there is another thing which is called premium processing, when you pay $2,500 more to these $700, and your case is being processed in 45 days, which means that usually it means that you will not get a decision after 45 days, but you will get an answer from the USS, which can be an RFE, and in the case of our client there was an RFE. This means request for evidence, request for additional evidence. So usually EB2 and NW requires a lot of documentation to prove certain facts, right? So that's why sometimes you will need to use this, you will be given this request for additional evidence, which is not a bad sign usually. It doesn't mean that your case is not good enough or it will most likely be refused. No, it doesn't mean that. Just they need some additional evidence, because in the case of our client, they had a positive decision on one criteria already, right? And they asked some additional information for another ones. So yeah, this is what request for additional evidence means. What I meant that most likely you will not get a decision after 45 days, because when you send a request for additional evidence, they will take 45 more days to process that again. The thing is that EB2 and NW visa is very popular at the moment because it does not have a high plank and many people are applying for that. So most likely for most, if you are citizen of certain countries, you will not be able to get your interview soon. So in some countries, it's not even possible to get a slot for the interview. Even if your petition is approved in 45 or more days, you will most likely not will be able to get an interview slot for a long time, and it will take about a year still. So it doesn't have any sense to wait. But it really depends on your passport. So you need to just check it out. Yeah, so this is why I think that sometimes it's not that important to go for premium processing, and you can save you $2,500. Yeah, so he got his decision, and now we are going for the second stage, right, for the interview, and I will tell you about that when it's over, about the results and so on. So if you are interested in your EB2 and NW consultation, please contact us with the contact information down below. We will be happy to assist you to help you understand your chances. And if there are any questions you want to ask me, please leave them in the comments. I will be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.